Attention passionate Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. All right, folks, buckle up because the NFL offseason is heating up in ways we haven't seen before, and the Seahawks are right in the middle of some serious rumors that could reshape the entire NFC West. The buzz is swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that would see Marlon Humphrey, one of the league's premier shutdown cornerbacks, donning the Seahawks colors. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Humphrey to Seattle. It sounds crazy, but sources close to the situation are suggesting that this isn't just some idle speculation. No, this could be the real deal, and it might happen sooner rather than later. According to some high-level sources, including reputable insiders like Adam Schefter, there's a strong sense that the Seahawks and Baltimore Ravens are deep into negotiations. The proposed deal involves Seattle sending a first-round pick in the 2027 draft, along with a third-rounder in the same year in exchange for Humphrey. Now, I know what you're thinking, giving up a first-rounder. That's a lot, but when you consider how much Humphrey could elevate this secondary, it might be worth it. The Ravens, currently sitting at a 10-7 record for 2025, are believed to be open to moving Humphrey because of their cap situation and team needs. They're about $15 million over the cap right now, and they're looking to free up some space, especially with their run defense struggling a bit, giving up over 125 yards per game. Let's talk about Humphrey's impact because this isn't just any corner. At 29 years old, he's been a lockdown presence since entering the league, with 15 career interceptions and a PFF coverage grade of 92.5. His ability to shut down opposing receivers is elite, allowing just 48% completion rate in coverage and deflecting 62 passes over his career. Last season, he played 16 games, missed one due to a shoulder injury, snagging 4 INTs, allowing just 55% completion and earning a PFF grade of 93. His pressures, especially against the pass, are notable. They registered 8 last season, including some blitzes, and his EPA expected points added per coverage snap was a solid -0.30, showing how disruptive he can be. What makes Humphrey such a tantalizing target for the Seahawks? Well, adding him could be a game-changer for a secondary that's been a bit leaky this season. Currently, Seattle's pass defense is allowing around 240 yards per game, which ranks among the bottom of the league. Improving that unit with a player like Humphrey, who can lock down one side of the field, would drastically reduce big plays and open up more opportunities for the pass rush to get after the quarterback. Imagine a secondary with Humphrey and Witherspoon, both capable of shutting down top receivers and forcing turnovers. That's a recipe for a top 6 ranked secondary, a unit that can keep the Seahawks competitive in high-scoring games and make life hell for opponents' passing attacks. Now, let's put this into perspective. Remember the impact Jalen Ramsey had when he was traded to the Rams in 2019. That move elevated their coverage stats by over 20%, and the Rams became a nightmare for quarterbacks. Humphrey, with his proven track record, could have a similar effect on the Seahawks' defense. His presence would reduce the number of aerial touchdowns allowed, projected to drop to around 18 for the season, and turn the Seahawks into a more formidable, coverage-driven team, much like how the Patriots benefited from Stephon Gilmore's addition, boosting their interception numbers and overall defensive efficiency. This move could also be a strategic play for the Seahawks to push for playoff success and beyond. A lockdown corner like Humphrey would be a perfect complement to the Seahawks, aggressive pass rush and versatile safeties. It's the kind of upgrade that can turn a good defense into a great one, especially in the playoffs where every stop counts. The NFL playoffs are all about matchups, and having a corner who can take away one side of the field makes life so much easier for the rest of the defense. We've seen how shutdown corners can be the difference maker. Think Sherman in 2013 or Ramsey in 2019, players who can swing the momentum and elevate the entire team. But it's not just about the on-field impact. This move signals a serious intent from the Seahawks front office. They're not just looking to compete, they're aiming to dominate. An aggressive offseason like this shows they're willing to make bold moves to take the division back from the Rams or the 49ers, especially if they believe they can contend for a deep playoff run. The NFC West is becoming more competitive each year, with teams investing heavily in their rosters, and Seattle knows they can't afford to fall behind. From Baltimore's perspective, trading Humphrey could be about resetting and rebuilding for the future. They're clearly looking for cap relief and roster flexibility. Moving a player of Humphrey's caliber would save them around $17 million in cap space, which they could use to extend key players like interior lineman Broderick Washington or bolster their linebacker core. Plus, with the Ravens focusing on their run defense and overall team balance, a trade now might give them the cap flexibility they need to make strategic moves in the draft and free agency. Now, what does this mean for the Seahawks? Well, if this trade goes through, it's a massive boost to their chances of making a serious playoff push. The addition of Humphrey would turn the secondary into one of the league's most feared units, capable of neutralizing the top receivers and forcing quarterbacks into hurried throws and mistakes. That kind of secondary can elevate the entire defense, making the Seahawks more competitive in every game. Plus, with the Seahawks already boasting a solid front seven and a promising young secondary led by Witherspoon, adding Humphrey would give them that veteran presence and shutdown ability they desperately need. Imagine the impact in key matchups, especially against high-powered offenses like the 49ers or Rams. Humphrey's skill set is perfect for containing star receivers, reducing explosive plays, and forcing turnovers. His addition would also send a message to the rest of the league. Seattle is serious about reclaiming their spot at the top of the NFC. It's a move that could define their season, turning them into a true Super Bowl contender. Let's delve deeper into the Seahawks' recent historical context. Since their inception in 1976, the franchise has had its share of ups and downs, but their golden era was undeniably the early 2010s, culminating with their Super Bowl XLVIII victory in 2014. Under head coach Pete Carroll and quarterback Russell Wilson, the Seahawks built a reputation for a dominant defense, often called the Legion of Boom, which was anchored by stars like Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, and Byron Maxwell. That unit's legacy is built on lockdown coverage, aggressive playmaking, and clutch performances in the playoffs. Fast forward to today, and the Seahawks are in a bit of a transitional phase. Wilson's departure to Denver in 2022 marked the end of an era, and the team has shifted its focus toward developing young talent like quarterback Geno Smith, who has shown flashes of brilliance but still needs consistency. The defense has been solid but not quite at the elite level of the Legion of Boom days. Adding a player like Humphrey could be the missing piece, a veteran leader and shutdown corner to help mentor the younger players and restore some of that defensive dominance that once defined Seattle. Statistically, the Seahawks' defense in recent seasons has been middle of the road. In 2022, they ranked 15th in points allowed per game, 22-4, and 18th in yards allowed, 340 per game. Their pass defense was slightly better than average, but still allowed too many big plays, especially in critical moments. The secondary has been a patchwork, often relying on players like Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen, both of whom are promising but still developing. Woolen, a fifth-round pick in 2022, burst onto the scene with 5 interceptions and a league-leading 96. 9 PFF grade in coverage, but he's only in his second year and still learning the nuances of NFL-level competition. Adding Humphrey would bring veteran stability, leadership, and elite coverage skills to complement Woolen's raw talent. Humphrey's presence would also help reduce the workload on Witherspoon, allowing the Seahawks to deploy multiple coverage schemes and keep quarterbacks guessing. It's a strategic move that could elevate their overall defensive efficiency, especially against the league's top passing offenses. Looking ahead, the Seahawks' future prospects are promising but require strategic investments and smart roster management. Their draft capital, especially the 2024 and 2025 picks, presents opportunities to build around young stars and fill key gaps. The addition of a proven veteran like Humphrey would signal a win-now mentality, emphasizing that Seattle is not just rebuilding, but retooling for a deep playoff run and potential Super Bowl contention. Focusing on the NFC West, the landscape has become increasingly competitive. The San Francisco 49ers, led by star quarterback Brock Purdy and a stout defense, have been the class of the division, but questions about their quarterback depth and injuries remain. The Los Angeles Rams, despite a disappointing 2023, still have a roster loaded with talent, including stars like Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp, and are always a threat if they can stay healthy. The Seahawks, with new strategic additions and a young core, are positioning themselves as serious contenders. Whether it's a trade for Humphrey or other moves, Seattle is clearly prioritizing competing at the highest level. Deep analysis suggests that a move like this isn't just about improving individual stats. It's about reshaping the identity of the Seahawks' defense. When a team can confidently assign a shutdown corner to one side of the field, it allows the pass rush to pin its ears back, knowing the coverage is taken care of. This synergy between pass rush and coverage is crucial in the modern NFL, where offenses are increasingly pass-heavy. Seattle's front seven, anchored by players like Darrell Taylor, Jarran Reed, and a promising young linebacker core, would benefit immensely from having a lockdown CB like Humphrey to complement their attack. Moreover, Humphrey's leadership qualities and work ethic are well documented. Coming from Alabama and being selected in the first round of the 2017 NFL Draft, Humphrey has been recognized as a team leader and a professional both on and off the field. His experience in high-pressure playoff games with the Ravens, including their deep runs in recent years, could be invaluable for a young Seahawks squad hungry for success. From an analytical standpoint, advanced metrics reinforce Humphrey's value. His catch rate allowed, 48%, is among the best for cornerbacks in the league, and his passer rating allowed when targeted is a mere 55. Additionally, his ability to deflect passes, 62 over his career, indicates his knack for disrupting timing and forcing quarterbacks into less optimal throws. These skills translate into a tangible reduction in big plays allowed, which is often the difference-maker in close games. Looking at the Seahawks' offensive side, they've got a solid core led by wide receivers DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, both capable of stretching the field and making contested catches. The addition of Humphrey would allow the Seahawks to be more aggressive defensively, knowing they can trust their secondary to contain the opposition. This would open up more opportunities for the offense to attack defenses vertically, increasing their scoring potential. Expectations for the future are high if this deal materializes. With a strengthened secondary, the Seahawks could challenge the NFC's best teams, especially if their young offensive line continues to develop and their running game remains effective. Defensive coordinator Clint Hurt has shown the ability to scheme effectively, and with a player like Humphrey, he could unleash a versatile defense capable of adjusting to different opponents and game situations. In terms of the overall NFL landscape, this move could have ripple effects. Other contenders might be prompted to make similar bold moves, and the NFC West could turn into an even more intense battleground. The Seahawks' window to contend is now, and this potential acquisition signals their intent to maximize it. In summary, this rumored trade involving Marlon Humphrey embodies everything the Seahawks are striving for: an aggressive, strategic approach to roster building aimed at championship contention. With Humphrey's elite coverage skills, leadership, and proven NFL success, the Seahawks are positioning themselves to be a formidable force in 2024 and beyond. The NFC West is about to get even more competitive, and Seahawks fans should be ecstatic about the possibility of adding a player of Humphrey's caliber to their roster. And remember, the Seahawks' history is filled with moments of resilience, innovation, and triumph. From their Super Bowl victory in 2014 to their iconic Legion of Boom, Seattle has always been a team that fights for its place among the NFL's elite. This offseason could be the next chapter in that storied legacy, one where bold decisions lead to big victories. So what do you think, Seahawks Nation? Is this trade for Humphrey the move that finally pushes Seattle over the top? Or is it too much to give up for a player who might not fit exactly into their long-term plans? Drop your opinions, theories, and predictions in the comments below. Your voice matters, and we'll be monitoring every development as the Seahawks offseason unfolds. Stay tuned for more updates, rumors, and deep dives into Seahawks strategy and roster moves. We're in this together, and I believe the best is yet to come. Let's keep that passion alive, Seahawks fans, because the future is bright and the road to another Super Bowl is within reach. As always, GOHAWKS. Character count, 10, 159.